So let's talk about AI for a second. AI is coming for all of our jobs, and maybe it's coming for all of our lives. Maybe we've reached the end of humanity. Maybe it's coming for developers too. And so I'm actually curious. First, what are you hearing from the developer community and how excited or unexcited they are about the fact that now AI can write code? And second, how you're thinking about the disruption that AI will bring to marketing, if at all.
Yeah, look, I think AI will be disruptive to everything. And it's like disruptive is a charged word. There's like TechCrunch disrupt, and that's positive, and then disruption, that's negative. So AI is certainly going to change all of our lives in the same way the internet did and mobile phones. And like the thing that's so interesting, I'm going to butcher this stat, but I shouldn't even say it, but I'm going to. I read it, I don't even know where I read it, but I recently read that something like 60% or 80% of the jobs that existed in 1960 no longer exist. And we've sort of evolved accordingly. And I think that will be true of this. This is a seismic shift for sure, but I think that it's just a natural evolution of how technology evolves and how humanity progresses. I don't believe this sort of catastrophic takes that like everyone's going to be out of work. And, I'm hopeful that we will adapt and that, sure, some jobs will become obsolete and we'll have to figure out how to evolve the economy accordingly. But hopefully it augments a lot of the work that we do as opposed to putting us out of work. And I think that cautious optimism is what we hear from our developer community through surveys and other things. So I think that right now, and you see it with this sort of constant launch of developer tools, code completion tools, what have you, developers are excited that it's making them more productive, more efficient, and they're not overly concerned that it's going to put them out of work. I think that it'll make the good developers better, and it will probably take away jobs from some of the bad developers or people who shouldn't be coding in the first place. But jury is still out on what it looks like. We're really just like 6 months. I mean, people have been building with AI for a while, but the sort of zeitgeist has only been on this journey for about 6 months or so. So I think that there's a lot of potential. And I think at Stack Overflow, we're investing heavily in this space and we're excited about what it means for us. With regard to marketing, what I said remains the same. I think that there are components of marketing. There was a study that came out recently, and I think there are some parallels here where one of the positions that people have said AI is going to kill is customer service because chatbots, whether intercom or call centers, will become much more efficient. And as LLMs are trained, they'll be able to handle any customer complaint.
Yep.
I think the reality is like we all want to talk to a person. It's like how many times you just keep pushing one until you get an operator on the phone to bypass the robot. And there are some studies that have come out that have said, actually, people do want to talk to a person. And AI tooling and LLMs have made those customer service people much more efficient and much happier in their jobs. And I think that parallel will apply to marketing. So like the worst parts about marketing, I mean, it depends on who you are and what you like and don't like, but like I hate writing, or I always hated when I was agency side writing like 10 variations of the same tweet or, 6 variations of a headline for a blog post for SEO purposes. And AI can very easily take some of that
Yep.
pressure out of the system. And then I think the other thing is like, data is unreliable. Attribution is very messy. As you know, like how can AI augment and help solve some of those really meaty problems? I think that's where it's going for marketing for now, for the short and medium term. Long term, I don't know what marketing will look like.
I love the optimism and the excitement that you have for this. I think the idea of technology's role has always been to make our lives easier. And this is just an acceleration towards that. And it's scary to some, but ultimately it's just fulfilling the mission that it always had.